What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Saturday. Well, yeah, still Saturday. Saturday, January 10th, 2026. My name is Christopher Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of upstate New York here, but in Pacific time right now on the West Coast here. But I'm a proprietor of this podcast, and I love to bring people on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I have a very special guest that's on with me today, as she is an athlete. She plays softball for Southern Connecticut State. She is from Norwalk, Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken. That's
Mhm.
her hometown. And we're going to talk to Izzy Ingersoll. We're going to talk to her about her why of getting into sports, of playing sports, what her inspirations are. But we're also going to ask her some get to know you questions. So I'm definitely excited to talk to Izzy. And Izzy, I should say, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
No, you're good. Yeah, I thought I lost you for a minute. I was like, oh man, it's pros. But no, we're
Oh, I'm
good. We're
sorry.
good.
Am I
I'm,
am I
I'm
back?
totally with you. No, you're good. You're good. No worries. No worries. I love it. I wanna ask you this first question, Izzy, and that is, what is your why? It's the same question I asked to all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Hard podcast. And it's a question about, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Were there any role models, any inspirations maybe growing up in Connecticut? But ultimately, what is your why for wanting to get into sports?
So I grew up playing several sports. I did everything I could. But my main sport has always been softball. I played basketball and volleyball as well. But growing up, I love the sport itself because it always provided me like an outlet, and it was always kind of like my home outside of a home. And growing up, I had a honestly, the biggest role model I had was this girl. She played softball as well, Danny Kemp. And growing up, she played college, and then she played for this like professional team kind of that I actually play for now in the summers, and it's in located in Stratford, Connecticut. And it's a women's like softball team. A lot of like college players play in the summer, and I had met her because I was Batgirl when I was younger there, and
Mhm.
she and I had a really good bond. She ended up getting a really rare brain tumor. And growing up, I was
Wow.
probably around like 8, I want to say, when she got diagnosed, and I got to kind of see her fight with throughout. And she did end up passing away, but like her story really touched a lot of people. And knowing her on the field, like I always say, because I actually like coach youth softball now, so like I always bring her up, and I always talk about how like my thing when I was younger, and like even still to this day, like I don't remember her like big like home runs or like good plays. Like I always remember her of being like the happiest on the field. Like she looked like she absolutely loved playing. She always had a smile on her face. She always like went out of her way to make all the like, younger kids that would come in the stadium and like watch. Like we would all always get balls from her, and like she would sign her stuff, and like she would stay for hours on end and like just talk to us and always make us feel really seen and appreciated of being there, but also just like growing as athletes. Like it was really good to have a positive role model like that. That wasn't like she was a great player, but I remember her of her like just positive vibes, like best person around, like always smiling, always happy. So she's definitely like some like an inspiration for me. And like to go back to like my why is definitely like to, especially with coaching now, I see a lot of young athletes that are just like me, like when I was younger, and still to say like I'm obsessed with my sport. I love softball. I was that kid that like growing up I would beg my dad all day to take me to the field after school, and like to the point where like other parents in our town would always think that I was like being like abused because my dad would have me out there all night. But it was honestly the opposite. Like I would beg my dad, and like I would be like one more, one more. And like
Right.
even in travel where I coach now, I played for the people I coach for with now, and they would always like make fun of me because I would always like one more. That was like the story of my life all the time. I would ask for one more rep. And I see so many young athletes now that are just like me with like being obsessed and like loving it, and especially like the age I coach from 12 to 14, like they're so like a lot of bad coaches like haven't ruined it for them yet. They haven't really experienced, not that they haven't experienced like tough stuff in softball, but like a lot of it is just loving the game and being gritty. And I love being able to help those kids really find themselves and also know that like the game as it keeps evolving and it has in the past couple of years, like it's going
Yeah.
to keep growing and there's going to be more and more people to break records and do better than you at the end of the day. Like you're probably like you're not going to be the best. You always want to shoot to be the best, but more importantly you want to leave the game better than you found it in the terms of like giving back and being a great teammate and just being that like person on the field. Like my whole thing always is like I want to be the person on the field that's like the most fun to watch, and that if somebody watches me and they're like, yeah, she loves the game. So that's definitely my why.
I love it. No, I love that, Izzy. I really do. And I love the fact that you coach as well.
Hmm.
I really do. And I want to ask you now, are you the same as a coach as you are as a player? Obviously, for me, I coached a little bit of basketball. I played basketball. I was always a guy that was, I loved to laugh, but I was also very serious as well. And I was very intense on the court and just emotional. Like I let my emotions wear on my sleeve because I wanted my teammates to know I'm having fun, but at the
Hmm.
same time I want to win. What type of player slash coach are you as far as your emotions go? Are you kind of timid, or are you just to the point where you just show it on your face at all times?
I'm definitely like I was always known as a player and I still am as like very energetic. At my position like shortstop, you have to I was always taught to like be the loudest on the field. And like when I play and coach, I would say like I'm very energetic and you could just tell that I love it. Like I eat up being at softball all day long. Like today I woke up early, did lessons with my kids. I do like defensive lessons, and then I in between like we have a pitch back and like my other coaches, because I coach with like my best friend, but like also the coach that I had in my old program was there giving lessons. So like I would always
Hmm.
try to like sneak rep. Today I was like sneaking reps with him, and then we have a pitch back and I like throw it back to myself all like for hours. And like as a coach, I think, and also as a player too, like I definitely am that person of having fun and like very energetic, but I also have always been kind of like a leader, and I always got that like people have always been like scared of me. Like now that I am a coach and like I have better relationships with the older kids that I've like played with sometimes, they literally tell me
Sure.
to this day like when I first met you I was terrified of you, and like that's like a big thing with playing, and I think is that I am very serious when it comes to like training. And when my kids like they know like we're here to have a good time obviously, but like when it comes to work, like we're gonna work, and I push them the same way that I would want to be pushed, because I feel like we have like a understanding, because me and the like my best friend that I coached with, he played baseball actually, and we were friends in high school. He ended long story short, he ends up coaching softball. Now we coach together. And he and I are pretty young. Like I'm 20 and he's 21 turning 22. And so like the kids we coach we had a 12U team, now we're 14U. And they're very like understanding of like hey, like they're really good personalities, like we love them, like we have like a blast with them, but like when we really
Mhm.
need to lock in, like we lock in. So I think like
Sure.
it kind of like my coaching kind of reflects how I am as a player. Like I'm very very like I have a lot of fun, but I also have fun with being competitive and like being serious of like I'm like pushing people and pushing myself.
I love that. No, it's good. It's great to have that balance, right? You got to have that balance because when you're coaching kids, obviously on a certain level, you want them to learn the fundamentals of the game. You want them to have fun. There's different values that, you want to implement into the team: togetherness, working together to accomplish a goal, which comes to winning. But, when you get to the collegiate level and you're playing for championships and different things like that, you want to take all that in there, but you also want to kick some ass too. And let's just call it what it is, right? At the end of the day, that's what you want to do. So I totally love the balance of that. I want to know why Southern Connecticut State University, of all schools, right? I mean, was that the only school on your radar, or were there other schools that you were looking at? And if so, what were some of those schools?
So with my recruitment, I um I was definitely looking to leave Connecticut originally. My whole
Mm,
life I wanted to play. When I was younger, University of Oklahoma is like the best softball team, and when I was younger, I was convinced I was gonna go there. And obviously, as
right,
I grew older, I was like, okay, like let's see. When I first, I coached and played for Connecticut Impact, a travel organization, and when I first, got with them, I was a sophomore in high school, and that's really when I was starting my recruitment. Before that, I was playing for a travel team, and I played up, so like all my friends, they were all seniors and then freshmen in college growing up. Like I played 4 years up, and so they all kind of were going through that, and then they all graduated, so I was out of a team. I went with a different team that I obviously like loved because I'm still coaching with them. But I met two coaches, Coach Craig and Mike, who really helped me with recruitment. And I'm somebody who, like, I always knew I wanted to play in college, but I knew I didn't have the funds to go to college. So going to
right,
college for me meant playing softball no matter what. Like I always wanted to, but I wasn't going
right.
to be able to go to college because I wouldn't be able to afford it. And so with recruitment, it was hard to find a school because with softball, you don't, not that you don't get a lot of money, but like pitchers really get that most of the time, most of the money. But you get like as a middle infielder, and it doesn't necessarily matter, but like you do obviously get money as a softball player, but it's not as much as like say football because they just have more money to
Other
use.
sports.
So yeah, and
Right, right.
I knew that I had to kind of like I learned the term stacking of stacking money from my education, and I had good grades, so I was good with that, and then like
Mhm.
whatever I can get for scholarship. And I was just really, that was a big deal for me because I knew like money was going to be a big thing for choosing a school. So but originally I did want to go out west. I was looking at Cal State Fullerton, and down south there was a lot of schools. Like I genuinely had a good amount of schools, and even up here like some D2 schools and D1 schools in like Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and then
Oh
up
yeah.
here, yeah, like I because my travel team would travel a lot, so I was really looking to go somewhere far originally, and then up here in the Northeast, I had like a lot of the people have known me because like I'm a Connecticut kid, and like Connecticut high school softball, like a lot of those schools had recognized me, but I always was like no, and I wouldn't give them a chance because I was like I don't want to go there, and because I didn't want to stay in Connecticut. And so
Right.
my junior year, my summer of my junior year, Tufts University came to my game, and they're in Massachusetts, and they really were interested in me, and it's a very high academic school, and somewhere that's like a kind of like a life-changing education. And my coach was so mad because I wasn't like, not that I wasn't interested, but I was just like so caught up with summer ball, and like I didn't really realize how much um that school, like I didn't know schools like that. So my coaches
Right.
kind of sat me down and they were like, listen, you have an opportunity here to really like go somewhere that's going to change your life and kind of flip. Like I didn't really have the most money growing up, whatever, and they were like that could really help you get a better future for yourself. So I originally committed to Tufts University, and I was going to play softball there, and my senior year hit, and I ended up getting diagnosed with a brain malformation, which is like, it sounds a lot worse than it is, but I basically have like really bad headaches, and it was causing me to get full numbness. And that summer, going into my senior year, like I had gotten home and I was like, I'm not one to like ask for help, so I just assumed that I was driving a
Right.
lot over the summer. So I just went under the
Right.
assumption that like, oh, maybe it was just from driving. So I kept playing, I kept just not saying anything, and then it got to a point where it was like my full body
Hmm.
was numb. I was getting really bad sicknesses, and like just being real, like my head was hurting. I would get really bad migraines. I like couldn't function. So I ended up going to the doctors, and it was just like constantly like I was in the hospital a lot, and that was like the fall of my senior year, so I missed a lot of school. And by missing school, my grades kind of slipped away from me, and I was just going through a lot at that time.
Right.
And so because of that, I didn't get into Tufts, and it was a big deal for me because I felt like I was like letting everybody down. And I ended up getting my grades up, but unfortunately, like Tufts is just not the school that you can kind of slack off like that. And even though I did have like legitimate excuses, like that's still like you can't make excuses. And like even to this day, I'm like, yeah, like it makes sense. But I'm also, so from there, I learned that information like my spring of my senior year. So I was going into my high school season of softball, and I was a senior, and I was kind of freaking out, but I had a really good support system of people who were helping me be like, hey, we have other options. And I ended up actually having other options, such as Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, Southern, and there was a few others like Northeast, just like this area. And Southern ended up being the best bet because it was pretty close. I'm able to coach, which I really wanted to do. At that point I started coaching and I really loved it. I wanted to save money. I like financially it makes the most perfect sense. Um and it just I really enjoyed the team. I enjoyed campus. It was definitely my vibe. um and I really like, once I toured again, because I had already kind of talked to them before. My June, like it's nearby, so like they knew who I was. So when I really was like interested again, I toured again and I really gave it a shot and I really liked it. So I ended up committing there, and
Hmm.
then the rest I just went to school. I know that was a long answer, but like my recruitment was crazy, and like everything happens for a reason. So I'm really thankful for that, but it was
Absolutely.
definitely a hard experience to go through.
Well, I appreciate your transparency. Wow, dealing with that in the senior year, that is absolutely crazy. Wow. I
Yeah, it
can
was a
only
lot.
imagine. Yeah, it sounds like it. I can only imagine what your parents was going through, family was going through, and obviously what you was going through. But look at you now, looking absolutely lovely. By the way, look very, very
Thank you.
lovely, and doing what you love to do, which is amazing as well, which is the most important part, and I love that. So, I want to ask you some favorite questions, and you just give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Okay, so here we go. What is your favorite meal that you like to cook?
My favorite meal is rice and beans. I'm Puerto Rican, so my dad taught me and I know how to make it, so that's my favorite.
I love it. I love it. Now, if I say, what is your favorite meal that you like to eat, Izzy? Outside of what you just said, what is a meal that you like to eat?
Like homemade, or can it be like fast food?
Oh, either one. It could be either one.
I like Wingstop, and I order hot honey wings and lemon pepper fries and a Dr. Pepper.
Okay, so
I
let
don't
me
really care what I
listen.
eat. I just need a Dr. Pepper.
So I'm gonna tell you like this: you already got me smiling. You already pretty much won my heart, Izzy, because I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. First of all, Wingstop is number one for me.
Yes.
I am a lemon pepper person. I'm a lemon pepper person to death, no question about that. I don't care if it's drumsticks or flats, whatever it is. I'm lemon pepper all the way. Plus, definitely need my Dr. Pepper. No question about that. I'm a huge Dr. Pepper person. So anybody
Me
that
too.
knows me, like I'm very huge into Dr. Pepper for sure. I love that. That's what's up. Okay. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
I went and saw Nas and Wu-Tang Clan when I was, um, I don't know how old I was, but I'm really into like old music, so like I got to see them because they came to Bridgeport.
Okay. Now everybody knows Nas from Queensbridge. We all know that's one of my favorite rappers out there. Who don't know? I mean, anybody from the Northeast know who Woo is.
Yeah.
You ain't even gotta say the whole name. Once you say Woo, you already know what it is with that. So I'm with you on that. Okay. What is your favorite Wu-Tang song? For me, I would definitely say it's Cream.
Oh, that's a good one. I honestly, I like Cream and I like Method Man and I like the I forget the name of it, but it's like, oh my god, how do I'm blanking on the name, but it's like an underrated song. It's like the good old days song, like the everybody the good old days that
Oh, I know
song.
what you're talking about. I know what you're talking
Yes,
about.
I
Yeah, that's a
can't
good
believe
one.
I'm blanking on the name, but yeah.
That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one. You got some good taste in music. Like I love me some old school music too. No question about that. I'm a huge Weekend fan. I love the Weekend. That's one of my favorite artists. It was probably my favorite concert that I went to. I've seen him 2 times. But if I had to go rap wise, definitely when I went to Watch the Throne, the Jay Z Kanye
Oh,
Watch the
that's
Throne
so
tour.
cool.
That was phenomenal because not only with them two headlining it, but it was also Jeezy and Trey Songz with them as well. So I was
So
like, man,
cool.
okay. So that was smashing. I love that. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
I would say Colorado. It was really cool, and I went for a softball tournament, and the tournament itself was really cool. And then we like went and saw a Rockies game, which was dope. And yeah.
That stadium is quite unique. No question about that. I've done traveling myself. I'm a huge Denver fan. I don't know if you ever been to Denver, but Denver is one of my favorite places in Colorado. Downtown Denver is underrated. I've been there a couple times, not too many times, but definitely to see the Broncos game because I'm a huge sports person like yourself. But I've also been to the Colorado Rockies game as well. But even though I'm a Padres fan, I was rooting for the Padres when they was playing. So, and they won. So I was pretty happy. So it was cool. Um, we're sports people. So I'm gonna ask you this two-part sports question. Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They could be the same sport.
I think on TV, I would say basketball. And in
Hmm.
person, I would honestly say baseball just because I think it's a like it's a good experience. Like the
Mhm.
experience of it, like for me, like nothing better than like going to Yankee Stadium, getting like a hot dog, like just the whole experience of that is fun. But recently, I went to my and I like watching basketball in person too. But recently, I went to my first hockey game, which was really
Mhm.
fun. And I'm not like a big hockey person, but like
Sure.
I thought it was so, like they were fighting and it was so cool because I like never got to like see that, but that was really fun to watch in person too.
All right. Well, girl, listen, you on point like a period. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You are definitely doing your thing because basketball is definitely my favorite sport. That's my number one sport. So when you said basketball on TV, I'm a huge fan of basketball. Now I grew up in the West Coast. I grew up in San Diego, so I'm a huge Lakers fan. We're talking Shaq, Kobe during that time. Kobe Gasol. That's what we're talking about. And obviously, Kobe's my inspiration and my why of why I wanted to get into sports because I'm a huge fan of his. Who is your basketball team that you love to watch?
I'm a Knicks fan just because I'm like from up here, but I also love like I had favorite players growing up, obviously, and like I love Kobe, but like my favorite basketball player of all time is Allen Iverson because I just love his story and
Mm.
um
Hmm.
Yeah, like I've recently watched a documentary about him that was on Netflix, but like I just like I always loved him and I loved like what he did really for basketball and for just culture in general.
Oh, no doubt. The answer. No question. I mean, anybody that just says the answer, you already know who Allen Iverson is. He's one of my
Yup.
favorite players for sure. One of my dreams is to go to Madison Square Garden. I've never had a chance to go there
Oh
yet. I
really?
really would love to go there. Yes, I've never been to Madison Square Garden, and I really do want to go there at some point for sure. And now that I currently live. I do live in upstate New York. I'm close to Toronto, so I'm definitely going to check out a Raptors game at some point because I want to go to all the stadiums too. I've only been to about I want to say 13, maybe 13 or 14 of the stadiums of the 30 teams. I think I've been to that many, so I have quite a few more to go. But I also love the fact that you said baseball in person. I'm a huge baseball person too. Obviously, I told you I'm a Padres fan growing up in San Diego, but I love the Cubs and I love the Braves as well. Who is your baseball team?
Yankees all day. I'm a diehard Yankee fan.
God bless your heart. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Now,
Yeah, I know
let me
it's
tell
been
you.
painful.
It's been painful, but you know what? I totally understand because now living in New York, a lot of people love the Yankees here. There's not a whole
hmm
lot of Mets love, that's for sure. Not a whole lot of Mets love going on up here. I see you rolled your eyes when I said the Mets, so you obviously don't love them either. But I totally understand that.
I don't have a problem with the Mets because like my dad is a Yankees fan, but my dad's favorite player of all time is Daryl Strawberry. And when I was young, I've always been number 7. But when I was younger and I couldn't get number 7, I was number 18 for him, and I like him too. So like I don't have a problem with the Mets, but the Mets fans are always coming at me for being a Yankee fan. So now I'm kind of like anti them. But like yeah,
I feel it.
mostly up here, like in Connecticut, like the lower half, like I'm from Norwalk, I live in Bridgeport, and like everybody down here is Yankee fans, and then like upstate Connecticut, they're all Red Sox fans, and a lot of them go to my school and play softball with me, and I don't like the Red Sox.
Well, listen, if you're a Yankees fan, you better not like the Red Sox. That's for sure. I mean, that's like me being a Padres fan, and then all of a sudden I'm just gonna like the Dodgers. Sorry,
Yeah,
that's just not going to happen. I'm not going to root for the Dodgers. Now, I know they're a great team, but the Padres and Dodgers are in the same division, and we have a rivalry. It's the same thing with the Yankees and the Red Sox. That is a rivalry. Anybody that knows
yep,
baseball or Major League Baseball, you do not root for if you're Yankees, you don't root for Red Sox. If you're Red Sox, you don't root for the Yankees. You stand on one side and you be on that side. That's for sure. I'm actually it's funny that you said that because I'm actually this particular summer, which is in July, they have a Fanatics Fest that happens in New York City every single year now that they're doing it. I think they did it the first time last year. They're doing it again this upcoming July. I plan on going to that, and while I'm in New York City, I'm going to check out my first Yankees game because I've never been to the Bronx and never
oh,
seen a
it'll be
Yankees game.
fun.
So yeah, so I'm definitely going to go check that out for sure, no question. Okay, I like you. You doing your thing. Last of the favorites. I'm a huge foodie. I don't know about you, but I love eating food. It's one of my favorite things. When I do come to Connecticut, because I've never been to to the state of Connecticut, where should I go out and eat at?
Oh, that's a hard one. Well, so okay, I go to school in New Haven, so you have to come to New Haven and get pizza because like that's probably what I would say we're known for the most. Um,
Okay.
me personally, I'm not really picky with food, but there's a big debate on like who likes what here for pizza because honestly there's several different types, but like a lot of people like Sally's. If you're not in like looking for pizza, I would suggest in
Mm.
for like Spanish food, there's a Puerto Rican place that's also like Puerto Rican and Chinese food like fused, and it's really cool,
Mm.
and it's called Board China, I think.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Now, anytime you're talking about Puerto Rican food, I'm with you. There's no question about that. I love me some Puerto Rican food. Now, Pizza, I'm a little weird. I'm not well, I like to consider myself a little weird when it comes to pizza. I'm a deep dish person, so I love deep
Oh
dish
yeah,
pizza. So I love that, but I'm also a huge meat lovers guy. I don't
me as
get
well.
too exotic. I don't get too exotic with the meat though. Like I'm not gonna get too crazy with the meat. Don't give me and I want to ask you this. This is a bonus question. Do you think pineapple should go on a pizza?
I haven't had it, so I can't. I don't know, but I would say like it's an odd topping, but I've
Okay,
never
so
tried
Izzy,
it myself.
this is what the hell I'ma say, Izzy. Hell no. For people that's gonna watch this, hell no. Pineapple should not be going on no doggone pizza. You drink
Yeah, it's
pineapple
weird.
juice. Pineapple should be a fruit that you eat on the side. You wouldn't put apples and oranges on pizza. You shouldn't put no damn
True,
pineapple on the pizza.
true,
That's just what
true.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think
Okay?
I'll ever try it.
Hello. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. You know what I mean? But I love your answer. I do. I do. I love how you stay neutral on that because you haven't tried it. I did try it and it was nasty as
It
hell. I
was
almost
gross.
spit it
Was it
out.
like soggy?
It was soggy. It was super
Ew,
soggy and
yeah, that's
soft.
gross.
I
No.
didn't like that. I was like, and I'm a meat lovers person. You know, when we're talking about pizza, it's cheese, it's sausage, it's pepperoni. You maybe
Yeah,
can have some chicken on there. Some people like to put ham on it, but I'm
I've
just
had
meat
it with
lovers in general.
meatball. I've had
But
meatball on
yep,
it.
meatball too. Meatball is pretty
Yeah,
good too. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that. Okay. I like that. Now, let's talk about your day-to-day operations, okay? Now, you being a sophomore in school, obviously, if you're full-time, you're probably taking about 4 classes minimum, maybe even more, okay? And you're an athlete, so your conditioning probably through in the fall. Softball season typically starts in the spring. Since it is cold in Connecticut, I doubted that you guys are playing home games in the month of February and March. You're probably traveling somewhere to go somewhere to play. Because I was in Minnesota covering softball on a collegiate, and they never played softball in February in Minnesota. It just never happened. So tell me, one, how many classes do you normally take? Tell me your day-to-day operations of practice, conditioning, working out, stuff like that, as a collegiate student who is an athlete.
So I take 5 classes each semester, like usually the last few ones I have, and sometimes, especially in the spring, I try to do online classes just because it is easier. One for like our schedule because it gets pretty hectic, and
Yeah,
two, for me, I'm very much like I'm very independent and like sometimes like I have really bad ADHD, so sometimes like sitting in a class just like having to like hear somebody talk at me it gets a lot and I can do all my work like all at once and get ahead of it, so I like online classes, but it's still the same
absolutely.
amount of work, like so 5 classes. But usually for softball we have early mornings, we have lift sometimes 7, sometimes 8, and then we'll have like this next semester, we're about to start in 2 weeks, and our preseason is pretty much like 7 a.m. lift, and then right into practice from that. Probably getting out around like 11. Um, I usually try to find time to, get food right after that. Then I have class. I have class usually in the middle of the day because, or if I can earlier, but like with softball, it's gonna be hard. Like it's hard this semester, so most of my classes are like right after practice, and then
Sure.
after I'm after we do that, I try to get my own reps on my own time as well because I'm just like I'm a junkie when it comes to stuff like that. Like with softball, like I'm just very much like I need to get like max amounts of reps. So
Hmm.
I'll go to class, I'll grab a bite to eat, go do some training on my own, and then sometimes have lessons and then coach, and then I go back to school, go to sleep, and wake up and do the same thing. We have scrimmages soon. Some of them are going to be indoors. Because for preseason we're allowed to have, I think we have like 3 or 4, and it does get cold, and like we go to Florida for a week on spring break, which is really nice. but once we get back, we're like full swing, and sometimes we do play home, but it is really cold, but it's kind of just like we have to suck it up because like we only really play in the Northeast against like people in the NE10. So
Mm.
our conference, like everybody, it's really only north from here, so like it just gets colder. And I hate the cold, and that was a big reason why I didn't want to stay up here. But my trick is I wear like three Under Armours and like I bundle
I
up
was gonna
because it does
ask, do
get
you
cold.
layer up? Do you layer up when you play?
Yes. Yes, I do, and my
Okay.
teammates all make fun of me because I wear leggings underneath, and a lot of some people are like weird about like throwing and like moving with too much on, but like I have like a thin layer. I like am strategic about it because I know I get cold, and honestly, that's another thing with like my head stuff. Like the weather really affects me, so I just know that I have to like bundle up as much as I can, and I like my teammates all make fun of me because I wear like I'll be like the one in like three, and it's like not even that cold. But I just get scared. I don't like the cold.
No, I listen. You're out here playing. You already have enough stuff going through your mind. You're worried about runners on base. You're worried about the batter. You're worried about the ball flying at you or taking a bad bounce in the infield,
Mm,
especially. You don't need to worry about how cold your ass is when you're
yeah,
out there trying to play and make plays. You just
it's
don't
the
need to worry
worst.
about that.
No,
Right.
it's the
So I
worst.
totally understand that. I totally understand that. But that is a very hectic type of schedule. Like, obviously it's routine to you because you've been doing it for quite some time. But, somebody listening to that, you're coaching, you're lifting, you're trying to eat, you take 5 classes. Yes, they're online, but they're the same amount of work. You
Yeah.
probably have to even have more discipline taking online classes rather than being in class because online classes you don't have somebody talking to you, so you have to
Mm-mm.
make sure you keep reminders of when things are due. Make sure if you're trying to get ahead that you know what I mean. So because I used to take online classes like that too, but I didn't play a sport. I just took online classes because I was lazy as hell. I didn't want to go to class and I didn't want to sit in class, and I thought it would be easier for me to do it because I'm like, you know what, I can just do this on my own time. I could be in my PJs, I could just relax in my dorm if I want to when I lived on campus, and I was just cool. But it's great that you say all those things, but it's a great also segue because I want to ask you about mental health and work life balance, and well, school life balance, I should say, because mental health is very important for not only journalists like myself. I've seen a lot of journalists leave this industry, but I've seen also a lot of athletes get affected by mental health as well. Sometimes the grind can get to you,
Mm.
not just in season but off season, and sometimes everybody has those days, Izzy, where it's just tough days, right? And you're also around your friends, your sisters, your teammates, right? Your girls. You're around your girls
Yeah.
all the time. Sometimes it could be a little hectic. I mean, I've been on basketball teams where I'm around my guys, but sometimes you just want to get the hell away from them because it's
Oh
like
yeah.
yeah, you're kind of like, whew, okay, you're a bit much today. I want to ask you, how do you balance your mental health by keeping it strong and not getting burnt out doing all these things, but also still having a school life balance? Because you seem like a wonderful person to be around. I certainly wouldn't mind hanging out with you, and I think your friends feel the same way as well. So how do you balance that?
With balancing, it definitely can be hard, and like as you said, like it's a lot to juggle, but I'm somebody who I really do take account to my mental health, and I struggled a lot. My biggest struggle with softball, and because I love it, like I absolutely love it, but
Mhm.
with that, I have always been a perfectionist with softball, and
Okay.
growing up and last year, funny story, like I broke down, like panic attack, called my coaches that I coach with now, but like that I had them as coaches for the last like 3 years of my life, and I was just freaking out about how I felt like I wasn't doing good enough, and I was kind of viewing like not my worth, but like just like how my moods were based off of like how I was doing. And to my
Right.
mind, like, and my coach would tell, like, my coach Craig, he would always tell me like, listen, it's never good enough for you, because I was doing well, but I literally thought I was doing horrible and that I could do so much better, and I was stressing myself out. I was trying to work double as much as I was because I felt like I wasn't myself. And I really, really was having a hard time. In that week, literally the next day, like, it's so funny now looking back, I got Rookie of the Week, and then I went on
Wow.
last year to get Rookie of the Year for my conference. And so,
Wow.
like, that week was like, I saw it on Instagram because that's how it got announced, and I was like, "What?" And that kind of just like opened my eyes, and that made me really focus on my mental health. And instead of being a perfectionist, I still am in some ways, but like, I really, really try to hone in on like progress over perfection, and
Right.
knowing that like I love my sport, and being a perfectionist isn't going to help me, like, like, I shouldn't be miserable playing because I feel like I'm not doing good enough. Like, I want to just like love it, to because I love it, and like not really have it based off of how I'm doing. And like,
Sure.
I was probably at that point, like, I know I was annoying. Like, I would always ask my teammates like more, 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 and like I would always like be a crash out about everything. Like, I would freaking do one wrong thing and I would hold that against myself for the whole day. And it's not a fun experience to do that. And with balancing everything, like with my mental health wise, that's something that I really tried to help myself with. And like, I talk to a lot of, I have really good outlets, and I have really good people around me who are in the game. And honestly, something that really helped me with mental health as well is coaching, because I looked at
Okay.
like the kids that I coached, and I see one of them specifically is just like me with like being crazy about softball. And I
Right.
tell her, like, I look at her sometimes and I'm like, damn, like, I see myself in this, and like now I kind of know what people are talking about when they're talking to me about like, stop being perfect, like, you're good, like, you're not bad, and even if you had a bad game, like, that doesn't define you, and you don't need
Right.
to be miserable all day, so that kind of like opened my eyes a lot. And with balancing, I try my hardest to really put myself first, and with the season now coming, I have really like, I told you I coach with my best friend. He's already had this conversation with me, and then like my other coaches that coach with us, like, they were my coaches, so they know too. Like, Izzy, when you're playing like softball first, obviously, but like obviously making sure that I have good grades as well, and
Right.
because that's still really important to me. And knowing that like the season comes first and I come first, and like they're very good about like, hey, like, because I do want to work. I love what I do, and like obviously I want, who doesn't want to make money, but like I love what I do most of all. So I hate missing, but like they definitely make sure that I prioritize myself and like my own health, and making sure, especially with like my health issues, just making sure that I like am rest up. I get enough rest at night. I eat enough during the day, and like I set reminders on my phone for that and for homework assignments, all of that. So I really try my hardest, but the act of balancing is just something that like I don't think anybody's like an expert on. It's kind of just you go as the time takes you. Like, it's not something that I'm very like perfect at, but like I try my
Sure.
hardest, which what is, and I know I have really good resources, which I'm very fortunate to have.
I love that. I love that answer. And you've gave terrific answers all conversation long. You really have. But that answer really resonated with me because with all that you deal with, all that who you are as a person, you said one thing that was very, very key. And that's one, you're not gonna have a perfection to this. And there is no
Mm-mm.
perfection in my mind, in my opinion. And I've done almost over 350 plus episodes here. And not one person has been perfect with that question that I've asked about the work life balance. It's just, I don't think it exists. I think balance is different for each individual. And the work life and school life is just different for everybody. But the fact that you have those outlets, those resources that you can lean back and go to, hold you accountable, you hold them accountable, and being able to, like I said, be disciplined enough to know yourself, your body, what you can take, what you can't take, if you need to take a step back, if you need to turn it up a little bit. You just know those things. And I really do appreciate you advocating that. And again, this is a great segue because what if there's a young girl that decides to uh, follow in your footsteps and go play collegiate softball or go play a sport, or a high school girl that comes sees you play and says, "Damn, that Izzy out there is amazing at what she does." What kind of advice would you give that individual?
I would definitely say the best advice I've gotten with one, like, being a perfectionist, like I said before, progress over perfection, and knowing that, like, to definitely push yourself, and you can definitely, like, there's a place for everybody to play at. And with my story specifically, I really thought, like, if you told me 3 years ago that I would still be in Connecticut, I would have, like, been like, no way. And it's not like
Right,
a bad thing, it's just like that was what I thought I wanted at the time. And it's not like it was, like, forced upon me to still be here, but it was kind of, like, just aligned the right way, and I made the choice based off of what I wanted, and my wants and my needs changed over the years. So knowing that, like,
sure,
there's always going to be a place for you, and to chase, like, you can have, like, a big dream and chase it, knowing that, like, it's still a dream, but, like, you're going to be okay and you're going to find somewhere. If it's not the, like, all-time, like, big goal, like, growing up, I wanted to be at Oklahoma. Like, that's just every girl that plays softball, like, will tell you growing up, Oklahoma or, like, a Texas, but, like, Oklahoma's, like, just known for their softball. And so, like, I
yes,
have a girl now that is on my 14U team, and we've had her since she was, like, 10, and she is, like, obsessed with Oklahoma and wants to go to Oklahoma, and I love this is the one that reminds me of myself. And she is just, like, still so dead set on it. And with any kid that I could talk to about, like, advice for that is mainly just, like, have really high goals for yourself, but know that, like, they can change. Like,
right,
that doesn't mean that, like, it's a bad thing, like, it's like, "Oh, I didn't accomplish my dream." Like, playing at the next level is hard, and there are plenty of Division 3 schools that are better than Division 1 schools. It's with softball, it's very much like, because I know a lot of kids are very, like, D1 or bust, and, like, that mentality is good to have of, like, "Oh, I wanna go Division 1." But as somebody who's been playing Division 2, like, there's not a lot of differences between D1 and D2. Like, and
sure,
even I was going to go to a D3 school, but they were a very good D3 school. And there's just every division and every level has really talented athletes, and just to get to any of that is a really good accomplishment, and something that, like, isn't really, I feel like with softball, it's a game of failure, and you're gonna fail more times than not. So not really, like, back to the perfectionism, like, not really, like, getting in your head about, like, oh, like, the divisions, or oh, your talent wise, just making sure that, like, a lot of the things that I know from my coaches, like, obviously softball is evolving now, but growing up it was more so like there's not really a professional, there is now, but it's still growing. There wasn't really,
right,
like, perfect, like, it's not like I could be an MLB player. So
right,
I was always told, like, hey, like, utilize your sport to get a really good education and then set yourself up for the next 40 years, not
mm,
just the next 4 years. So that's something that I think, like, any girl that wants to play in college or just wants to play in general, like, know that, like, like, softball is growing, and it's really awesome to see that there is professional now, and, like, that's something that I would love to do. But like, also knowing that you are playing the sport so that you can set yourself up not only, like, education wise, but also, like, just learning the things I've learned. Like, I carry so much lessons from softball into my real life, and now with coaching the same thing, and that it's so much more than just a game. And I think for young athletes to just like realize that and not really get so like swooped up into like the I feel like in travel softball specifically, it's been very much like D1, D1, and like, do you have to pay this amount of money to like be good? And that's just like not true. And like growing up as a kid that did not have that much money,
Right.
like I did what had to do, and I was always at the field. I always got reps. I had a really great dad that helped me with that, but like I just always found a way. And I feel like sometimes it could kind of be like intimidating for younger athletes in softball that don't have that much money, because it's kind of getting a little expensive with travel. And like my travel team, I was very lucky to find the people I did that like I would travel with the coaches, and like
For sure.
they were the best, and they were like my parents when we would go away. Like it was awesome. And
Mm.
like there are good people out there that'll help those types of kids, and that ultimately that's what I want to do as well, like just help kids like me find a place, because there is a home for everybody, and it's not as hard as it's hard, but it's a good challenge, and it's not like something where you like need money to like be good. Like that's a common like misconception, I feel like right now at least.
I love that. I do. And I wanna ask this bonus question for you. Like living, I'm assuming that you live on campus, assuming
Hmm.
that you live with teammates and stuff like that. Um, talk about, a young girl coming into campus playing on a softball team and being a college athlete living on campus. Obviously from high school, there's activities that go on in high school, but it's a whole nother level once you get up to college. There's
Hmm.
sororities, there's parties, there's all kinds of temptations around, right? You also have a social life. You have
Yeah.
friends. Talk about those particular things as a college athlete as well, because listen, you're a college athlete. You're pretty much in the media. People are covering you. People are writing about you.
Yes.
Everything that you do, people see you around campus. Talk about what advice would you give for someone that's coming into that kind of lifestyle, the do's and the don'ts, pretty much.
I would just say that like it could be scary feeling like there are a lot of eyes on you. And me, I know that I'm kind of like a role model to a lot of kids. And ultimately like it's kind of easy for me to say this because like I'm not really a big partier in general. Like I just don't like it. I'm not like that's not my scene, and it's never been like I've had friends who've done stuff like that in high school and now college. And like it's just never really been my type of thing. Like I really like I love the grind. I love softball. Like that's just me. And like some people,
I love it.
it's not a bad thing. Like I don't look down on other people who aren't like that. I know that it's very hard for somebody to be very much like into that. And I think
Yeah,
also growing up, I saw a lot of people that were kind of like alcoholics, stuff like that, and it kind of changed my perspective on what I wanted to do, and I knew that I didn't want anything to do with that. And so I've kind of always been like straight on that, like very softball. And I knew like even in high school, I would always get the lectures of like, listen, you're not only representing yourself, but like in high school is like your high school softball team, and, like your travel softball team, and like your family, like you're representing a lot more than just yourself. And I think that really applies for college. Like if you're on the college softball team, like you really have like a standard that's set for yourself of like obviously always being respectful and all that, but also with like the drinking and all of that. Like everybody knows that you're gonna do that in college, and it's not something that like people. I feel like coaches in general, like I think a lot of people accept it. Like it's just a part of your college experience, and especially like the upperclassmen.
okay.
So I think like for the upperclassmen and stuff like that, but I think knowing that like it's really not going to do you any good. I haven't had great like I don't really experience stuff like that, but like I just know from seeing my friends, like there's never really a good thing that comes out of like drinking and partying and stuff. Like me personally, I have a great time. Like we do team bonding. Love team bonding. You don't have to be drunk to
Yes,
do that. Like you don't have to drink or do stupid stuff to hang
very
out with your
true.
friends.
Yes,
So that's just my opinion on it. And I know like a lot of people my age are different, and I know it's hard for people to like really be that way and say like, hey, I don't want to do it, and like especially if everybody else is doing it. But just me personally, that's kind of my perspective on it. And I know like if you're going to end up doing stuff like that, I think just like really being smart about it, and like doing everything you can to like make sure that like you guys are all safe and all of that. And I think that's like above all, if you're going to do anything, be safe, but also just know in the back of your mind like stuff like that, you're definitely being watched more than anybody. Athletes at my school, we all kind of are friends, and like living on campus, like we're always there on breaks more so than not. Like a
hmm
lot of people
hmm
during the weekends, because we're very commuter heavy at the school I go to, and so weekends a lot of people go home. So a lot of the times the people that are at in school on the weekends are all the athletes. So like we definitely bond over that, and like we definitely all hang out with each other, which is good. And like the good thing, at least with my school, like, and I think like it's been my experience in high school as well, like there's not too many people that are like pressuring anybody, and like it's not really like a thing where it's
that's
like
good.
at least from my experiences, like I've never been pressured to do anything. But so like, and you always find your people, because like college, me when I first got to college too, I was very concerned because I was like, man, like I don't know if I'm gonna find anybody like myself, and that's okay. But you do find your people. Like I don't have
For
somebody
sure.
who's like 100% like softball, 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 but I have people that are like still like love the grind and like want to do that more than not, and like
Right.
the
That's
non-drinkers and
likewise.
like stuff like that. Yeah, so I found my people, which everybody does, and it may take longer than not, but everybody does.
Absolutely. And listen, I love that. Again, I love those answers. And these are questions that are worth asking because number one, you're doing it. You're there. Number two, these are real life type of things. When you do graduate and you do go off to college, you do have these kind of experiences where you do have different kind of events going on. It's not just parties, it's different events that goes on the
Hmm.
campus. School throws it all the time. When you're in dorms with these athletes, yeah, people find ways to consume alcohol bottles into the rooms, however ways that they do, it finds it there.
Yeah,
However,
especially with
with
like most of the kids in our school, like especially on my team, a lot of them are upperclassmen. So like it's not like it's like illegal, but it's also like,
right,
like you
right,
also don't want to be doing that. And like my team is very good with like the ones that are legally drinking and stuff. That never really gets into softball, which is awesome because it's
right,
like it
right,
very like obviously it's not going to, but like also just like the days before, it's always been kind of, and it's not even like a team thing, like it's like the people who want to and are of age, they go and have their fun whenever, but it never gets into like any of that, which is awesome, and that's just been my
right.
experience. So
It doesn't affect the main thing. Is basically what
mm-mm.
you're saying, and the main thing is going out there, being teammates, playing softball, racking up wins and stuff like that. But for people that's coming into school, this is the stuff that you have to deal with, and it's like I said, it's not all. I'm not trying to put a negative connotation on it, but it is also something that you need to keep your eyes open about.
Mm-hmm.
Because people, you need to find, like you said, your speed of people. Me, myself, I was perfectly fine being a loner, being different. I
Yep.
wasn't somebody that needs to blend in with the crowd. If I blended in, cool. If I didn't, I was cool either way. Doesn't matter. I will be cool drinking a 7 Up. I'll be cool drinking some Hennessy. It didn't matter. I was gonna be the same Chris, just like you'll be the same Izzy doing whatever you're doing. So
Yep.
I totally understand that. Now I want to get into some season talk. Now, this season has not started yet, and you guys haven't. I'm sure you guys have a schedule, but it hasn't been posted yet, as I saw. But last season, obviously, didn't go the way that you obviously wanted it to go. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
not mistaken, it was 13-25.
Yep.
It's very interesting how a softball season is because you guys on a collegiate level of softball play a lot of double headers.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of double headers on y'all schedules, and I want to know Coming into your freshman year of playing collegiate softball, what is one thing that you took away from that year and said, I want to build on this year or improve this year? And what's some things that you learned from last year that you're like, you know what? I think I'm gonna have a better grasp of it this year coming into my second year.
I think when I first got to college and started playing, I was way more nervous, and I kind of realized that it's not that different and it's the same game that I've been playing. But I was kind of shocked because, like, I don't know, in your head when you get to college it's like, oh my god, like it's a big deal, but like it's
Hmm.
really like not, like it's a big deal and it's great, but it's also like it's not like you just kind of put it in your head that you're about to like go play against like professional like players that are just way older than, and it's just not like that. And I was very like prepared for college because I played on a really good travel team. Growing up I played with older kids my whole life, so I was kind of used to like playing against older people. I think for last year, something that like we really learned as a team was just like, and something that I learned is that like, because we lost a lot of like games from like one run. Like if it was crazy because we like went on a streak of like just not winning games and we would get walked off on a lot. And that
Hmm.
was just something to me that was like so frustrating because I love winning. But I think something for me that I saw like the team dynamic of it, like because we were very like we're a very close team. I think just like vibing, it's so weird because I haven't really experienced like in travel it's very different of being, you're obviously there to win, but you're also there to showcase yourself. So it's very much
Right.
like you're kind of only really thinking inward at times. And then once I got to college and I kind of like thought about the whole team, I was still thinking inward of like what I can do to like help the team. But I think realizing that like our dynamic and like how close we were and how we kind of like play with each other was way more of a big deal than I thought. Like I thought, because we were very close, but I thought like it's not that we didn't vibe on the field together because we did, but it's kind of like a certain
Hmm.
vibe of like just knowing each other a little bit better on the field. And I think that was something that I kind of realized because I just never thought about it. I feel like with because in high school I didn't like my freshman year we were really good, but we didn't end up winning anything. And then my sophomore year, we just started going downhill because we were losing a lot of upperclassmen. And I think I never really got to like experience like a team dynamic of like a um like we're all like really competitive for something, because in high school it was like a lot of the girls were just there to have fun. It wasn't like I'm here because I'm on a scholarship and like I'm here to play for my college. It wasn't like that. So it was just
Right.
very different like atmosphere for me, and it was very telling of like how we interacted with each other and stuff. And I like loved that. Like I loved how we were able to really come together and really want to do something. And I know like the results kind of weren't there last year, but I think going into this year we're going to have very much of a better bond and just knowing each other a little bit more, and like field wise and like knowing, because like that's something I like preach to all the kids I coach as well, of like knowing each other and knowing like your strengths and weaknesses. And I feel like last year a lot of it was like nerves because we got a new coach, and we did a lot of people were trying to like prove themselves to the coach, our new coach, and like we love her and it's awesome. It's been an awesome experience and like very lucky to have her. But I think a lot of girls were very like inward about, oh, I need to like prove something, which wasn't really the case. It wasn't her fault. Like it's not like, oh, she made us feel like nervous. It's more so like I think a lot of upperclassmen too were mainly trying to like, show that we were good. So I think that
Right.
kind of had
Right.
something to do with it, and it wasn't it's not like not anybody's fault. It's kind of just like, you want to do good for your coach. So I think this year it's gonna be a really fun year, and I'm really excited. We got a lot of good pitching, and the double headers, like that was something that I realized, like, obviously when I committed, but like I'm also like I used to play like 5 games in a day for travel at times, so like I was kind of used to playing that many games. but like it gets tiring, and I feel bad for our pitchers because that's like a lot of innings pitched. And this year they're changing our schedule, and we're gonna have two double headers back to back, so it's gonna be Saturday Sunday, so 4 games in a weekend, and that's gonna be rough on the arms. But I'm just excited to play more games. So, but yeah, I think that was something that I definitely learned going from last year. And like as a freshman, it was kind of like I put a lot of unnecessary weight on my shoulders for like no reason, just because I
Mhm.
wanted to prove myself too, and I felt like I'm just like that kind of person that I don't know why I just always feel like I have to prove something, and I think like knowing that I didn't like, not that I lost confidence, but with travel softball, like my program, like I was very much like one of the better players. When I was senior, I was like the leader of the whole organization. Now I coach it, so like I kind of like had so much confidence, and then going into school, I forgot like, oh, I'm just a freshman now. So I think that was like a big thing for me to like overcome, of just getting my like my confidence back, and it was always there, but like just knowing that like just because I'm a freshman doesn't mean anything, and like I think this year is gonna be a really fun one, and I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for you as well. I definitely will be obviously tuning in because I'm a new fan of yours, and obviously you're absolutely lovely. There's no question about that. Now, selfishly, I'm going to ask you, um, what is a stat that you would like to improve on? Whether it's batting average, home runs, RBI, stolen bases, walks. What is a stat that you would like to improve on from last year?
So I last year I hit I think around almost 400, and I don't think I hit 400, and I was so mad about it. And then they posted a graphic on our conference that I was like third in the conference of like average, and I was so mad because I was like embarrassed I didn't hit 400, and my coaches were so mad about that, like jokingly with me. So I would definitely, but like for me personally, my most important stat is on base percentage, and I think I want to make sure that I want to be like top 3 in the conference for that, and I would like to steal bases more because I am fast, but like I don't know, I'm a good base runner, but I think we I don't know. I feel like last year didn't really steal that much. But I have a really high goal of getting a golden glove for Division 2, and cuz like defense is like my favorite thing. And so I'm really hoping this year that I can like
Hmm,
just be a contender for that. That would be nice. So yeah, I think those
okay.
are like my I don't really like looking at like thinking about stats, like the whole year I would like refuse to like look at my stats because I would just get
Mhm.
in my head about it, and like I mainly just wanted to get on base for my team, like any like that's always in my head, like any way I can, and whether that be walks, hits, whatever. But I just really want to continue getting on base a lot, and my fielding, I just want to go to glove really badly.
Okay, I love it. Listen, it's awesome to have goals like that, Izzy. It really is. And listen, you don't have to look at your stats. I will do that for you. There's no question about that. I just won't tell you what the stats are. That's just what it is, obviously. But that's amazing that you have those type of goals. It really is. Now, uh, I have two more questions for you before I let you go here. You are bearing it with me. I really do appreciate it. But this next one here is something that I do with all of my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast, and that is this or that. It's an interaction game that I play. Okay, an interaction game is pretty simple. I'm going to ask you some questions, and you're going to choose this or that. So, Izzy, are you ready?
I am.
Okay, here we go. Are you okay? Because you keep staring off and to the left. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm sorry.
No,
My
I
light
was
keeps
gonna.
turning off.
No, you're good. You're good. I promise you. You are seen. I will see you. You are awesome right now. I
Okay,
love that
perfect.
though. Here
Thank
we
you.
go. No problem. Out of these two restaurants, which restaurant would you rather go sit down and eat at? Would you rather eat at Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn Steakhouse?
Texas Roadhouse.
You like the cinnamon rolls, don't you?
Yes, that's the best part.
Yep, those are pretty good. I'm a fan of those too. So we're off to a good start. Here we go. When it comes to chicken wings, which flavor of these two, I should say, would you rather put on a chicken wing? Barbecue or lemon pepper?
Lemon pepper.
Do you like your wings wet or dry?
Dry.
Do you like your wings bone in or boneless?
Boneless.
Oh, so you like to eat it with a fork?
Yeah, I just don't like it's too much effort like eating around the bone.
I feel that. I feel that. I totally do. Now, are you a dipper? Do you have to dip it into any sauce or do you just like the dry rub?
I like ranch.
Oh, okay. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. I've never had ranch in my life. I've never tried ranch.
Serious?
Yeah, I'm
You're
very
missing
serious. I've
out.
never had. People keep saying that, but I'm gonna be bold one of these days. Maybe when I come up to Connecticut,
Yeah,
I'll try some ranch. How about
get
that?
some ranch.
That's what's up. I've never had ranch before. I'm not, but I'm more of a bone-in person, but I do like boneless wings as well. But yes, and I do like dry rub too. Dry rub's pretty good. So out of these next four questions I'm going to ask you, they're all music questions. So
Okay.
they're music concerts that you rather attend. Okay, so here we go. Which music concert out of these two artists would you rather go to? J. Cole or Lil Wayne?
That's hard. J. Cole, I think. Yeah, I would say
J.
J.
Cole.
Cole.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm with you on that. I love me some J. Cole. Love me some J. Cole.
Yeah,
Okay, here
I
we
like J.
go.
Cole.
Which music concert would you rather go see? Rihanna or Beyonce?
Rihanna.
Oh, you said that kind of fast. Are you not a fan of the Beehive?
I like Beyonce a lot, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I like Beyonce, but I think I would rather see Rihanna just because I feel like she has more like songs. I don't know.
No, I'm with you. Listen, I would have chose Rihanna as well. I would have chosen because we have not. I've yet to see her in concert. She rarely ever does concerts. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
another thing. Yeah.
it would be amazing to see her in concert, in my opinion. So I'm with you on that. Okay, here we go. The next one up. Which music artist would you rather go see in concert? Usher or Chris Brown?
I'm gonna say Usher, but I like Chris Brown. But we recently had this debate because one of our kids was listening to Chris Brown, and one of our other coaches was like, "Oh, he's a woman abuser." So like, it was a big thing about how we can't listen to him anymore. But I do like Chris Brown a lot. Like,
And listen, and I want y'all to understand, I'm not laughing about the woman abuser part because
no,
we
no, I know it
understand
was
Chris
like
Brown's
I know.
history. But musically, he's one of the most gifted artists we've
I know, but
ever
I don't want to get
heard.
canceled for like saying him because I separate, but I like both of them. But I honestly, I would say Chris Brown. But we literally just had this conversation the other day, and they were saying how bad it is, and I was like, it's not though. I like him like musically.
Absolutely. Izzy, I'm with you 1000%. No question about it. And I love Usher too. I've seen Usher live. It's great. Great music. Okay, here we go. Final music one. Which music concert would you rather go to in person? Would you rather see Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick Lamar.
Ooh, girl, you got some flavor to you. Look at you. Okay. I like that, Izzy. I like that. Okay. Going to see K Dot. I like that. What's your favorite Kendrick Lamar song?
Oh, I don't. I have to think. I'm just gonna. The most recent one I listened to was Pride, like today, but because I'm gonna blank on names.
I feel that. I would say I want to be heard. That's actually an old school Kendrick song. I'm not sure if you ever heard that, but it's called "Want to Be Heard."
Yeah,
It's before he had the
that's a good one.
when he had the yeah, it's a very good one. Yeah, I love that. Love that. That's one of my favorites. Okay. Back to sports. Favorite sport, or I was to say this, which sport would you rather watch on TV? Would you rather watch football or would you rather watch hockey?
Football. Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Which sport would you rather play? Would you rather play badminton or bowling?
Mm, Batman, I think. Yeah.
Time out. Wait a minute. Why did you make that face when I said those two sports? Are you bad in bowling?
Like, kind of. I feel like the last time I tried Batman, I was not able to hit it for some reason. And bowling, I feel like I would be better at bowling. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like not good at either one, I think.
I feel it. I feel it. Okay, that's all right. Now, let me ask you this. Do you like desserts?
Mhm.
Okay, four categories I'm about to name of desserts. You have to choose one of these categories to get rid of. So here we go. Okay. First category is cookies. The next category is candy. The next category is cake/pies. The last category is ice cream. Which one are you getting rid of?
Can you hear me?
You said what?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Sorry. It said reconnecting, so I was just making sure. Um,
Oh, okay, got it.
I would say to get rid of cookies, I guess. But I love cookies, but I think just because I eat cookies so much that I would be okay with getting rid of them now. And yeah, because I don't like. I think cookies and ice cream I eat the most. So
Okay.
I would say cookies.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let me ask you, what is your favorite ice cream?
Oh, this changes a lot. I cookie dough right now, I would say.
Wow, that is my second favorite ice cream. That's my second one. I love cookie dough. That's amazing. So yes, you are on point. I love that. That's my second favorite though, for sure. Okay, that's what's up. I love that. Now, do you like potato chips?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so same format. I'm gonna name four brands. You got to choose one of these brands to get rid of. So here we go. The first brand is Pringles.
Okay.
The second brand is Doritos. The third brand is Lay's. The last brand is Ruffles. Which one are you getting rid of?
Um, I would say I would say Pringles.
Okay, now if we walked into a store together and I said, Izzy, I want you to go to the chip aisle and buy your favorite chip. What are you buying?
Either the sweet chili, like the purple bag Dorito, or salt and vinegar chips. Because I like them.
Oh, Lord. You know, Izzy, I mean, there's a lot of things that I like about you. Obviously, athletic, talented, beautiful, driven, all the above. We just fell off the boat.
Oh no.
We did. We know, but listen, you can't be perfect. Okay, you have a lot going for you. You can't be perfect. The purple bag Doritos, you are actually on point with
Yeah, those
saying
are
that.
good.
Those are good. Those are very good. I'm not even going to sweat you on those. When you said salt and vinegar, though, that is what we call shit chips.
I
Those
like
are just
them.
those are. So I'm gonna tell you what the three worst chips ever made.
Oh no.
Salt and vinegar is not the worst. Okay, they're not the worst. They're the second worst.
Oh.
Kettle chips is the third worst. Anybody that likes kettle chips, I don't know what's wrong with y'all out there.
Yeah.
But that's just weird. Now, the worst chip ever made, let's keep it a buck. The worst chip ever made is Funyuns. Whoever likes Funyuns needs to just, oh my goodness, I lost her. Oh my goodness, I lost her. We're here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. Hold on. We're going to get back. We'll be back in just one moment. back here to the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. I am with Izzy Ingersoll, shortstop on the softball team at Southern Connecticut State University, and we were just doing this or that. We were talking about how bad salt and vinegar chips are, in my opinion. She absolutely loves them, and she should continue to love them. But I was telling her that that is the number two chip. That's the worst. The worst is Funyuns. Funyuns are just the
Yes.
worst. There's no worse chip than that. If I could smash all the Funyuns in the store, I certainly would. If I would not go to jail or be prosecuted in any way, for that, I would definitely do that. But yes, you did very well on this or that. You did very well, very decisive. I love that. I want to ask you this question here, and that is, we talked about advice you would give someone coming into college and playing softball, but what is some advice that someone has gave you that you hold on dearly to?
Um, some advice that I got with softball stuff, but also just like life, is my one of my coaches, Coach Craig, he told me, first of all, one day at a time. And he would tell me this
Mhm.
like when I was going through a lot. Like, not that I like didn't want to go to school, but like when my senior year, like grades were slipping, my health stuff was like all over the place. I just like my only motivation really was softball, and he would just always like send me a text like one day at a time. Like I literally like will never forget one day that like just was having the worst day ever, and I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to do anything because I was just like that. I don't even know why I'm trying. And I just like remembered I was like one day at a time, just get through today, and then like tomorrow's problem. So I think just like one day at a time, meaning take control of um your day today, take it like one step at a time instead of like thinking. I'm very much like I get into trouble with like thinking way ahead of myself and like and myself worked up about stuff that's like 2 weeks away, just like stressing myself out for no reason. And also I would say in softball, control the controllables, and that also is the same thing for life,
Mm,
honestly, and that
yeah,
meaning like
absolutely.
like we always say it to our kids of like, oh, like, you might have a bad at bat, you might have whatever, but like you can control your attitude, you can control your mindset, and that's the same thing for life. Like, like life's not fair. There's stuff that happens every day that's like not necessarily fair, and just like stuff happens. So being able to control your mindset and the stuff that you can, like your effort, your energy, all of that, like that's big for me because as the same guy, Coach Craig, he always says like don't sit in the shit, and like don't sit and like feel bad for yourself when things don't go your way.
Right.
And that's like my biggest pet peeve in life, and like with our the kids we coach, like I always get on them about stuff like that. Like we're not gonna sit and like feel bad about ourselves and like not take any action of getting better and changing stuff. Instead, like we're not gonna just sit around and like cry about it. And that's a big, like those three things were probably like biggest advice I got from past coaches and just in general that definitely like sticks with me. And yeah, like like anytime me or like any of us are like feeling bad for ourselves or just like having a bad day and like being annoying about it, like Boo is like don't sit in the shit, and like it's just kind of a phrase now that's kind of funny, but like it does like honestly stick in my mind, and like I always think about that, and it gives me a good laugh too, which is good.
That is good. And this has been one of my favorite conversations of my podcast platform. And the reason being is because talking to you has been absolutely amazing. I don't think
Thank
it's a
you.
understatement that you're absolutely lovely. I think your family and friends will say the same thing. Teammates, coaches will say the same thing about you. And it's well said. You're well spoken, well articulate about your sport and who you are as a person, very transparent, which I absolutely appreciate that. I love hearing about your why of being into softball. I love hearing about your why of staying in Connecticut, although you did want to go to the University of Oklahoma and be a Sooner Boomer. That was amazing to hear for sure. But I love the fact that you're paying it forward too. That's one of the main things that I also love as well. You're paying it forward by coaching at 14U and coaching the girls under that's going to be up and coming. Right, they look up to you as a role model, and there's somebody that they can lean on you to provide them great advice, as well as the other coaches that you have there on your staff. So I'm wishing you a very, very well, healthy and successful, obviously bounce back season for your sophomore season collegiately, but also your season that you're doing with the coaching as well. I hope that you guys have tremendous success. It was an absolute honor and privilege to talk to you because, again, I think you're absolutely amazing. So, my final question to you, Izzy, is there anything else that you would like to add about yourself, softball, or anything at all before we conclude?
Um, I just want to say thank you for having me on, and it's been really, really fun. And I appreciate taking the time out to talk to me and hear about my story, and just like, the thing, like my thoughts about softball and life in general. I'm really, really thankful for my journey. I know like it has been rough at times, but ultimately like everything happens for a reason, and I'm really, really lucky that I get to do what I love every single day, and I get to, get an education with that, and also just like get to hang out with like we make the jokes all the time about like my friends being a bunch of 14-year-olds, but like they are absolutely like some of the best things that, like, relationships I've had, because they really like, whether they know it or not, like push me to be better. And them with coaching and with giving back in general, I think everybody should definitely consider giving back.
Mhm.
That doesn't have to be coaching, but just helping and trying to like leave the game better than you found it, because that's really
Sure. No problem. I want you to enjoy this wonderful late evening. I appreciate you once again bearing with me. You've been amazing. And listen, again, continued success to you, your team, collegiately, and your kids as well. You and I will most certainly stay in touch because I'm a new fan of yours again. And yeah, we will talk in the very near future. Over and out.